Today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest royal icing with only 3 ingredients, as well as how to decorate the 4th of July themed cookies with just one shape of cookies. Let's jump right into it. Sift the powdered sugar and meringue powder into a mixing bowl. Sifting is important in order to avoid visible clumps of powdered sugar in your icing. Give it a quick stir. When the mixture runs on low, add in the water 1 tablespoon at a time. You may be tempted to add all of the water at once because you may think that this looks too dry. Don't add more than 6 or 7 tablespoons at this time in case it gets too runny. Turn the mixer to medium speed. Keep an eye on the mix. The consistency will change very quickly, and if you are not careful, it can get too runny. Give it some time to beat and then continue to add half a tablespoon of water at a time until it reaches the consistency that we want. When making royal icing cookies, we need 2 different consistencies of icing. One is called the outline consistency and the other one is flood consistency. Outline, obviously, is used to outline the area you want to fill. Flood is where the icing will flow and spread to cover the entire area you want to fill. Depending on the moisture in the air where you are, you may only need 8 tablespoons of water. I've made this with 9 tablespoons and sometimes even 12. We want to make this into our outline consistency icing. Then we will water it down to make a flood consistency icing separately. Be sure to scrape the bowl down halfway through. The outline consistency is achieved when I get a soft peak. It still holds the little line and not super stiff. See how it flips over but still holding the little peak? This is good. The icing will get dry when exposed to the air, so be sure to cover the bowl with a damp towel. Now let's color this. Scoop some of the icing into a small bowl. As I mentioned earlier, this is my outline consistency icing, so this is ready to go. Use gel food color to color the icing. Add a little bit at a time until you achieve the color that you want. I'm going to take icing from this bowl for my outline and flood. This is how you can get both outline and flood consistency icing the exact same color. Once done coloring, scoop some of this into a piping bag. This is the outline consistency icing, so usually I will put less in here and leave more in the bowl. Press the air out and tie this bag up. You can tie a knot like I did, or just use a rubber band. We want to keep the icing nice and tight in there without exposing to the air while we work on other colors. Now back to the bowl of icing, we are going to make the flood consistency. What I'm going to do is to add water to it until it reaches the consistency that I want. Please keep in mind that a little water goes a long way when it comes to watering down your icing, so just add a little bit at a time. I'm looking for smooth icing that ribbons off the spoon. I want the icing melt back into itself. When it settles back on itself within 5 to 10 seconds, then you'll know you have the right consistency. After I make the flood icing, I don't want to bake it right away. I want to cover it with a damp paper towel and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. The reason is after we add more water and stir it more, it will develop more air in there and causing bubbles to form in the icing. You don't want to see these on your cookies because it won't give you a smooth surface. See these little bubbles? We will pop them before transferring this into a piping bag. The easiest way to fill the piping bag is to fold the bag over a glass, then start transferring all icing into it. When done, try pressing all the air out and tie the bag. And this is it. This is how my workstation looks like. I have 2 separate plates of icing here covered with a damp kitchen towel. One is my outline consistency and the other one is a flood. Once we cut the tip off the piping bags, you want to cover them so the tip doesn't get dry out. Then I have the area where I will work on the cookies. as well as a large tray to place the cookie after decorating. Let's jump right into it. Pipe the outline consistency icing close to the edge of the cookie. You can pipe it as close to the edge as possible or leave a little space. The piping tip is not touching the cookie, you are just hovering slightly above it. I'll provide a link on how to make these sugar cookies in the description below. Once it's done, then fill it with a flat consistency icing. The flat icing should settle nicely on its own. If it doesn't, you can use a toothpick to push it a little. And this is how you fill a cookie. Now let's work on the different designs. First, we'll make the American flag two ways. Outline the cookie with the blue and white area and fill it with the flat consistency icing accordingly. Pipe the red lines with the flat consistency icing. Add white dots on top of the blue with outline consistency icing. If you have white star sprinkles like mine, you can use it here. If not, just pipe the white dots with white outline consistency icing. Outline and fill the cookie with white icing. Pipe the red and blue lines with a flat consistency icing. Use a toothpick to drag the lines. Outline just the outer edge with the outline consistency icing. Fill the inside accordingly and let the colors merge together on their own. Use a toothpick to smear it a little. Leave this to dry for a few hours, then write America on it. Outline and fill the cookie, then leave it to dry for a few hours. Pipe the red and blue flat consistency icing on there. Use a knife and spread the color out. Outline and fill the cookie. Pipe red and blue lines on there with a flat consistency icing. Leave this to dry for a few hours. Then pipe more red and blue lines on there with the outline consistency icing. Outline and fill the cookie. Pipe white lines on there with a flat consistency icing. Use a toothpick to drag the lines in a circular motion. Add blue star on there if you have it. If not, you can leave it out. Outline and fill the cookie. Pipe the red and blue lines on there with a flat consistency icing. Use a toothpick to drag the lines in two different directions. Outline and fill the cookie. Leave it to dry for a few hours. Pipe the red and blue lines on there with the outline consistency icing. Add the star sprinkles on there if you have any. And here you have it, 9 different designs all on a round-shaped cookie. Thanks for watching.